Welcome to the Beyond Barriers podcast. If you're an ambitious woman who wants to dominate your career, then you are in the right place. This podcast is co-hosted by Nikki Barua, digital innovator, serial entrepreneur, author, and speaker, and Monica Marquez, ex-Googler, diversity expert, and senior corporate leader. From inspiring stories to cutting-edge strategies, you'll learn how to develop the skill set, mindset, and tool set to get future-ready fast and accelerate your success. Welcome to the Beyond Barriers Habits and Hacks show. Do you know what people say about you when you aren't in the room? What people say about you, think of you, and how they perceive you is what your reputation is built on. And your reputation is your personal brand. Whether you want a personal brand or not, you have one. And if you aren't actively building your brand, you're missing out on the opportunity to make your reputation work for you. In this episode, we'll share why it's important to build your personal brand and how to get started. So let's start by discussing why it's important to build your personal brand.
Well, here's why it's important. We're living in the age of influence where our reputation precedes us. Every time you interact with other people, it gives you an opportunity to influence them on what to expect from you. You're teaching them exactly what they can count on you for. Whatever you do consistently in the physical world or the digital world literally becomes the foundation of your reputation. And given that we're living in such a digitally driven world, our online presence becomes even more important, even more dominant in defining a personal brand. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. People form an opinion about you before they even meet you, simply based on that online presence,
yes,
right?
Absolutely
we
true.
all know this. Consider this common scenario. Let's say you're scheduled to meet some new contact or a new business connection. What's the first thing you're likely to do before you go out to meet them? Chances are the first thing you're going to do is Google them,
exactly.
Right? You might review their profile on LinkedIn or check out their tweets, or you might even go as far as stalking them on Facebook right. Or looking at their Instagram posts.
Yeah, I'm guilty.
Exactly. We all do this before we meet someone. We're curious. And so we take, we look at Google, we look at the social media. And then based on all of this, you'll develop an opinion about this person, who they are, what values they uphold, what their expertise is, what they like and dislike. And you might even decide how you feel about them before you meet them, all based on this online review, right? Mm-hmm. On the other hand, let's say you search online and you find absolutely nothing. That's probably going to make you a little nervous, right? Yes. You might actually be a little wary of why is this person so invisible? What are they hiding? So even in this case, even if you find absolutely nothing, you are forming an opinion, just not a good one.
Right, right.
And, all of this goes to show how much our online presence matters. Mm-hmm. But this isn't just about our online presence. It's just as true in the real world. We leave a trail everywhere we go based on how we show up.
Right.
Now, you may not know it. You may not even care about it, but others do. And how they feel and what they think pretty much determines the opportunities you get, the support and advocacy you earn, and how quickly you advance in your career. And here's ultimately why this is so challenging these days. Attention spans are so limited. The human attention span is now less than a goldfish. That's less than 8 seconds.
Right.
In that limited attention span, people are quick to form first impressions, good or bad. So you only have seconds to make it work in your favor. But if you're not aware of your personal brand and you're not actively building it, you're unknowingly creating a major barrier to your success and certainly not taking advantage of something that can actually work so well for you.
That makes total sense. And as a former recruiter, your digital presence absolutely matters. Like, they're not just looking at your resume or your LinkedIn profile. They're going to search even deeper. So it's out there.
And before you even go into the interview,
absolutely,
the recruiter or the hiring managers likely already have an opinion based on your digital footprint.
Exactly. Do you want to grow your impact as a change agent who ignites transformation in others, but you don't have a proven step-by-step method? Do you want to grow your visibility and influence as a thought leader to inspire others? but you don't know where to begin? The Beyond Barriers High Performance Executive Coach Certification is designed for experienced leaders who want to grow their impact and influence. Join this exclusive community of high achievers, advance your career as a leader, and experience the joy of helping others grow. Go to IamBeyondBarriers.com and register for the webinar to learn more. So, yes, building a brand, it feels daunting. I mean, so many people have never actively worked on their brand, and they may not know where to begin. So, what are the first steps to take?
Well, the right place to begin is to understand your baseline. Figure out exactly where you are today. And here's how you can do it. Here are 3 easy steps to take. Step number 1, do an internal audit, kind of a self-audit, if you will. Review yourself. Look at what your digital and physical footprint is and what it says about you. So here are some things you can do. Do a Google search. In fact, ideally go into incognito mode on Google and type in your name. And type in your company name and yourself or whatever other things you want to search. But look that up. Look in Google News. Look under Google Images. You'll be surprised the kind of things it pulls up that you may not be aware of. And it may not have anything to do with information you've put out there. It could be somebody else, pictures from a wedding or a birthday party or whatever it is.
Where they tagged you or something.
Where you got tagged and it shows up. And that might be all that shows up. So imagine that is literally the sum total of information someone is getting about you.
Right.
Other things to look at, if you're active on social media, take a look at your Facebook posts, your Instagram images, your Twitter feed, all of that. And take a look at what impression that might send to someone that doesn't know you and has access to all this information.
Exactly.
Take a look at your LinkedIn profile. How are you presenting yourself? What does your headshot look like? What does your headline say about you? What's your summary section say about you? And so this is on your social media, but outside of social media, you could also look at other information to do an internal audit. So here are some examples. When was the last time you listened to your own voicemail recording to say, how do you sound? Because when people call you, chances are that's what they hear, right? Or just generally record your voice and listen to what you sound like. What impression are you forming there? Review writing samples. Read your emails to say, how do I come across over emails, multiple emails?
Right.
Like, do I come across sloppy or organized? Do I come across formal or overly casual?
Or the tone.
Are my emails lengthy without punctuation? Or do I communicate in bullet points and structured, right? And then finally, take a look at past performance reviews to look for common themes of what's coming across there. And certainly, if you're active in speaking or panels and things like that, look up videos and see how you present yourself.
Exactly.
That's all of these are ways where you can do a self-audit, and that's the first step to take. Now, if you've done all of that, now move on to step 2, which is doing an external audit, asking other people what they think of you, right? Important. And here are some questions to ask. The best way to do this is probably to reach out to people within your personal and professional network and ask them these questions. What do they count on you for?
That's important.
What are you the go-to person, the expert?
Go-to, yes, exactly.
Right? Then what are the top 3 words they would use to describe you? And if you wrote a book or gave a speech, what do they think it would be about?
Oh, that's an important one. I've never thought about that. That's interesting.
Right. So these are all ways to figure out how people perceive you, what do they think you're an expert in, and how they think of your brand and your reputation. Okay. Now, if you've done your external audit, move on to step 3, which is look for common patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that audit reveal about you? As you look at what you've reviewed and what others say about you, are there some common patterns?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the biggest disconnect where it might feel incongruous to your self-image,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps? And in what ways does it support your success? And in what ways does it hinder your ambitions? Are there things that people think about you that could actually get in the way of what you want and where you want to go?
Right. Needing to change that perception. So there you have it. Follow these 3 steps to conduct your brand audit. Then determine what to build upon and what you need to shed so you can take charge of your reputation and develop your personal brand. Visit IamBeyondBarriers.com, where you'll find show notes and links to all of the resources in this episode. Thank you for listening to the Beyond Barriers podcast. There are thousands of podcasts out there, and we are so grateful that you've chosen to listen to ours. If you enjoyed the show, please tell a friend about it and subscribe to get new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Visit IamBeyondBarriers.com, where you'll find show notes and links to all resources for each show, including the best way to connect with our guests. See you next episode.